Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to another of my video tutorials. In this quick photography tip, I am going to show you how you can deal with the imbalance of color temperature you get in scenes like this that you're looking at now. Now, for example, color temperature is controlled by the white balance in your camera. And typically you can have scenes like this where the foreground and the boats were in the shade. But the castle and the hills and the lake are all being lit by the early morning sun. So there's some lovely warm early morning sunlight streaming in across the lake, across those hills, across the castle itself. But the foreground boardwalk and the boats are in the shade. So essentially we've got two different color temperatures in the one image. Now this is quite a tricky image to shoot in the first place, to be honest, because I needed to put a 3-stop and a 2-stop grad on, basically 5 stops, in order to deal with the contrast difference between the two. So that's done that nicely. Now grads are great for that, but grads you put on your camera can only help you with controlling the exposure and controlling the contrast, but they can't help you with color temperature. And that's where Adobe Camera RAW comes in. It's a fantastic, I love Adobe Camera RAW because you can do just this. So we'll open up our image now in Adobe Camera RAW, and we'll first do a little bit of editing on the main picture itself. So we'll just tweak up the contrast, pull back those highlights. I'm gonna add a touch of dehaze and some clarity to make that castle and everything pop. Oops, sorry, wrong one. I usually don't play with the saturation, more so I tend to bring up the vibrance. So we've done that. We can come down into the curves if you want to adjust some curves, but I prefer to do that afterwards in Photoshop, so we'll leave that now. So that's just some basic adjustments that I've done in Adobe Camera RAW, but I still got this cool color temperature in the foreground and on the boats. So how do we deal with that? Well, we come over here on the right to the masking tool. Open up your masking tool. Now, you may be familiar with the masking tool or you may not be. You may be familiar with the old tools that gave you the graduated filter tool and the brush tool and the radial tool and various things like that. Basically, they've all now been put into this one tool, the masking tool, and you'll find everything here plus a whole bunch of other things too. The AI has come along dramatically. So here with your masks, you can create masks using all of the old tools we had plus the new tools. You can select a subject, so it does a pretty good job depending on the scene of selecting subjects within your scene. Or you can select just the sky alone. If I wanted to just make adjustments to the sky, I could do that, but I don't in this case. I want my linear gradient tool, so I'm going to select that. What I want to do, just like before, I will hold down the Shift key, and instead of going the sky like we would normally do, I'm going to do the foreground. So I'm going to pull up the grad tool, and overlay the foreground area. So it's all of this area here that I want to warm up. So I've done that. I'll turn off my overlay now, and all I need to do is simply come down to the color temperature instead of the exposure and all these other things. So the great thing about this is that we can make adjustments to all of these contrast, highlights, and all sorts of things, and also color temperature. So in this case, I want to warm this area up, so I can just pull it up. Fantastic, look at that. Look at that, take it up to 50. Let's get rid of that. And now I've balanced the color temperature. I've warmed up the boats, I've warmed up my boardwalk, and I've balanced everything nicely. Simple, quick adjustment. And now it's done. Now I can open this into Photoshop, make my final little adjustments. I normally come in here and just do a few extra little tweaks to the highlights here. Good, there we go. And as I said, I make my curves adjustments usually here. So it's make some tweaks to the contrast, make everything pop and shine, and that's our image. Nice and quick, edited in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this quick tip, and I hope you found it useful. And if you did, please give this video a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye bye.